Hi, Stacey. Tell me a bit about yourself and your business, if you would.
Sure. So my name is Stacey Balster, and I am an essential oil specialist and educator, as well as leader in the company that I'm in. And my business is really, truly just educating on essential oils, on how to use them, the safety, and pretty much anything you need to know about oils. I've used them for about 20 years, so I've got lots of do's and lots of don'ts.
Just tell me a little bit about your background, your personal background.
Sure. So my background is I was kind of jack of all trades.
Mhm.
So I was a massage therapist
Nice.
for a
For
little
humans,
while.
correct?
What was that?
For
For
humans,
humans.
correct?
Yes. Yep. Massage therapist for humans.
Mhm.
And then as life went on, I actually became a nurse. So I have a little bit of background in both of those sides of the medical industry.
Nice.
Yeah. So um, I love bringing those together. As you know, doing some alternative or complementary type.
Complementary, yes.
Yep.
I definitely prefer to refer to it as complementary therapy rather than alternative. It's not like you use these therapies instead of traditional or other medical therapies. They're supposed to go together and sort of bring it about a holistic sort of thing, right? That's what it's all about.
I totally agree.
Yeah. How can essential oils be used safely with our pets?
So essential oils can be used safely, but we also need to be very respectful. I like to educate. They're a lot like us. I mean, we also need to be respectful with ourselves. They're very potent. Um, there is a little misconception, I guess, with using them with pets.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a lot of regulation on essential oils, so there's a lot of companies that have been putting oils out, and their quality and their purity are just not there and not safe even for us, but very not safe for our pets because they can't tell us if something doesn't feel right, or if they just don't like something. So when we use essential oils, being very respectful of them while using the oils, because you need to be aware of how they're dealing with them because they can't talk. So always making sure that when you do use them, you want them to be able to leave the room.
Mm.
They're smart. They're super smart little beings, right? But their sense of smell is going to be 100 times, if not more, than ours.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
if it's strong to us, it's going to be super strong to them. So starting very low with how much you use, introducing them. So not just putting them on them is not the way to go. Just slowly easing in so that they can let you know as well.
Speaking regarding the quality of the essential oil product that should be used, especially with pets, and especially since there's a lack of regulation, what do you recommend?
So I have used many oils over the years. And when I found the company that I have partnered with, doTERRA, I learned of their sourcing and testing processes, which is why I feel very confident using these oils with my pets as well as my family, and promoting, because their testing is so well, they third party test, but they also in-home test to make sure that that quality is there. Um, every single time. They also source in a way to make sure that they find the best plant where it's usually indigenous too. It's going to be where it's grown to thrive and survive, but also that chemical makeup is exactly what we need. So the quality is there as well.
Okay, interesting.
There are 3 different ways that we can use essential oils on our pets and on us as well. The first being aromatic. So that would be diffusing. You can make like diffuser collars, where you put the oils on and they're just diffused throughout the day.
Neat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if I can bring Miss Bella in here, she actually has one on.
great.
Um, but again, with the diffusing, we do have to be respectful. Quality matters. There are many out there that I would not recommend diffusing. doTERRA specific, when I talk about diffusing. When I talk about all 3, actually, very confident with the quality with using them on all 3 ways. Topically is going to be the other way. You're going to treat your dogs similar to kids, like in between that baby and kid stage. So you're going to dilute. Dilute does not take away from the efficacy. It actually just makes them more safe and has a slower absorption. Plus, it's going to not be as strong. When you're using topically, making sure not to get it close to the eyes, to any sensitive areas, open cuts, genital areas, any place that they can lick. If it's an oil you don't want them to take internally. So like along the spine is really good. Behind the ears, you don't want to put it on their ears if they can flap and get it in their eye. Less is more again. Sometimes just the aromatic, even just putting the bottle, you don't even have to take the cap off, and letting them smell it to see if they're like, oh, I don't like that. With my Bella, she does not like lavender. I put that and she will take off. She doesn't like it. Now, if I diffuse it, it's less offensive to her. So it actually works really well to diffuse it for her, because I just put a couple drops and in a big area in the room where she can leave, and it actually calms her down. Pretty amazing. But then she has other oils that if I bring them to her, she knows, and she's like, bring it on. Like, she loves to have things like digestin, like we showed in the video with Boo. Digestin is just a digestive blend. If he gets a belly ache, we can just rub it on his belly. Now, he is a big dog. He's like bigger than most humans. So, I still dilute with him as well, but he loves it. So we just rub his belly because he's old and he's a bigger guy, and so he can have some digestion issues. Now, internally is another one that I would say definitely use your references before you ever do internally. You want to be very respectful that these are very potent, and when you take them internally, it's gonna be a quicker response. So there will be a time, but just not all the time. But if you use your references, and when I started using oils 20 years ago, these poor guys, they were little science projects, but now we have so many resources and amazing experts in the field. I follow a lot of vets. doTERRA actually has a vet panel that provides us with amazing information and the science to back these oils being used very safely and with amazing benefits, because there is a lot of fear out there, I know. So just getting a little education, maybe finding somebody that can help you to find those really good resources to trust as well.
Okay. Now, what you've been just talking about now with respect to dogs, does the same thing basically apply to cats?
Cats are a whole nother story. They're very unique beings. So there are oils that you really want to be a little more careful with. They're a little more sneaky with things. So making sure that you have your oils in a place that, just smart little guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
In a place that they can't get into. If you have them open, your diffuser, you want to make sure is closed correctly so that they can't get in and lick the water. But because they are so smart, a lot of times they're not going to, they're not going to be getting into things that they can tell is too strong, or so.
Right.
Being aware of that, but there are definitely oils that you don't want to use with both. Cats, there's just a few more.
Essential oils that are of particular benefit for dogs and cats. If you could please discuss some specific ones, that would be great.
Sure. So I always go to frankincense. Frankincense is good for everything and everybody. I think everybody needs to meet Frank if they haven't. But it's really good for pretty much head to toe inflammation. If they have any wounds, frankincense is a very healing oil. It's very relaxing, very balancing to mood and soothing. So it's a great one to use if there is an injury, not on the wound, but around it with the carrier oil until the wound starts to heal. And then you can actually then put it on, and it will help with like the scarring and healing. Lavender is a great one. Again, some don't like it, just like people, right? Our dogs are they're very unique as well in what they like and don't like, just like us.
Yes.
Yeah, lavender can do amazing things. It's very calming. It is also really good for skin irritations. It's a natural antihistamine. helps with, restful sleep. So diffusing it is a really good one. Even just putting it on your hands and letting them smell it sometimes is just enough. And then you don't really have to worry about them licking it, or if it's too much, they can walk away from you. Digestin was the other one that we were talking about for digestion. And so essential oils aren't like medications, and this is why they're so supportive, but they actually support body systems to run smoothly instead of forcing something to happen. So if they've got belly aches, it's actually just going to be supporting that system to be working a little more better, or like cool things down in a digestive way.
It's not like attacking an area to try to fix the tummy ache per se. It's just to help keep the system optimal.
Yes.
So it can take care of it itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Provide support. And yeah, cooling down is the best way to explain it, because when you have a belly ache, it's a little warm, right? So cooling it down is a good way to think. Our grounding blend, which is balance, that is the one that works best with our Bella, who does have a little bit of anxious feelings. She was a rescue. We don't know a lot of her background, but she does have quite a bit of issues there. That is one she absolutely loves. It's a little more of an earthy smell, and I don't know if that's why, but she loves that one. And it's usually within a few minutes, if she kind of gets to where she can't calm down, I'll just rub her back, and you go against the hair so it gets to the skin.
Right.
And within a few minutes, she's calmed down. 1 to 2 drops is good enough. She's a medium-sized dog. So
I'm curious about balance. Is using it topically like that, say maybe just 1 drop though, would that be okay for a cat?
Yeah. So, and again, you want to introduce them.
Mm-hmm. Let them
Yeah.
smell first.
So what was that?
Let them smell first, basically.
Yeah, let them smell first. The cool thing with balance is it's already dilute.
Mm-hmm.
So if you turn the bottle over and it says the ingredients, it actually will have fractionated coconut oil in there. So it's already dilute. You don't have to worry about that one, which is another reason I love it so much. But yeah, balance is a good one. You could just even putting it on your hands and then just doing that petting, maybe start at the back to start and just see how they do first. But yeah, it is very dilute. And if they're smaller, or if you want to start a little bit more heavy with the dilution, just add a little more fractionated coconut oil. Might get a little, now they're gonna lick, so remembering that too.
Okay.
Most likely cats are pretty flexible.
Yeah, and they can clean anywhere on themselves. So as long as it's reasonably diluted, it's safe enough to use topically, that one balance in particular.
Yeah, and you may start even, like I said, in your hands and letting them smell it and see if they like it.
Yes, right. Okay. And for those of you who are wondering, we have a new kitty, and he needs a little balance in his life. And I've been diffusing it. I think we need to go a step further.
There you go. You've introduced to the next, and that is if one oil does. This is the same with humans. If one oil is not your oil, there is another one to try, or even to blend to maybe, so frankincense is one. Frankincense and copaiba, those are 2 oils. They actually enhance the benefits of some of the oils. So if you add some of that too,
Nice.
Yeah.
Not for people to get the wrong impression. He's not horrible or anything. He just needs to take it down a notch. Yeah. His name is Jack, and he's a little Siamese, let's just say. He's a Siamese cat.
Yeah, copaiba, I did bring that one up. That is another one that I think is amazing to have on hand. So most of us probably know by now, because this has gone, if you are in the oily world at all, you don't use tea tree oil on your pets. They don't have the enzyme in their liver to metabolize it. So it is one that some vets will use in specific cases. It's not one we recommend at home. So copaiba is one that you could use in place of. Copaiba is it's a tree oil, or it comes from the resin of a tree, but it has immune system benefits, calming benefits. It's actually I always say this word wrong, but a cannabinoid. So a lot of people will compare it to CBD oil. So sometimes the same benefits, it's just a different plant, different pathway. but it works on immune system cells. So it's one that you could use in place of. So I do like to have that one on hand as well. But it's really good for supporting a lot of different systems because of that immune support. So it is a good one to use on pets if they're having issues. It's a good one to start with. It's gentle, good for the nervous system. So,
Okay. Excellent.
but it also enhances other oils. So it is, yeah. If one is like right there, you maybe add a little copaiba and.
Okay. All right. All right. Very cool. Now, how about I guess people involved in doTERRA, or if somebody is seeing a specific essential oils expert about their pets, or a vet or whatever, they would be able to get the specifications of how much to mix with what, like percentage wise, and how much to dilute and so forth, I guess, right?
Yeah, I actually have a dilution chart that I can have you to add with this if you'd like.
That would be great.
And then I have some other little references that are super helpful. And there are some really good reference books that will have those dilution charts and protocols that you can try that have been found to be safe and effective.
You touched on this a little bit already with tea tree oil, but what oils are not so safe, or perhaps not even safe at all, for pets, whether it's dogs or cats?
Okay, so with doTERRA specific again, their tea tree oil, melaleuca, whatever so those are the same thing, just so
Yes.
people know. If you the one that says melaleuca, it's actually tea tree oil, same thing. That is one for pet or for dogs. There are a few other ones like peppermint is kind of, again, those stronger oils, you may not want to diffuse in a large amount. In a blend, it's going to be a little bit different because there's going to be such a small amount, it may not bother them.
Right.
But oils for cats is a whole nother, so birch, wintergreen, both dogs and cats, wintergreen, because it's a natural blood thinner. So we just don't use that one. There's other ones you can use. Peppermint with dogs, you can, but if there's other one like the digestin, that's a blend, so it's less.
Right.
But for cats, spearmint, eucalyptus is another one that you have to be careful with.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the other ones. That's in a diffuser. Topically and internally, there's even more. Any of the spice oils I would maybe steer clear of, like clove, cinnamon. Those are hard. Those, as for us humans as well, you have to be very respectful. So we can tell if it's too hot and what we need to do. They cannot. Right. Oregano is another one. The citrus oils are some other ones. Now, diffusing, it's okay if it's in a small amount, and again, they can leave the room. But topically and internally, we don't want to. What are some other ones? Kind of that's most of them. The citrus, the spice, kind of those ones are going to be the big ones, and then tea tree oil or the mints. Even some of the mints are a little bit much for them.
So just on a sort of generalizing here, and as a lay person, sort of the strong ones, the ones with the strong smells, it's kind of like a warning, actually. It's just like, well, you need less of. And since pets, cats and dogs, and especially dogs, their noses are so pick up aromas so intensely, you wouldn't want to subject them to a strong smell anyway, I would think.
If it's strong for you, it's going to be much stronger for them, and that's when you'll notice that they maybe are acting funny. That's why it's good for them to leave the room. Maybe have windows open to make sure to air it out. Do not contact a vet if something's going on. Let your vets know. But a lot of times it can be that they're just super sensitive and they need to just leave the room, or quality, it could be an issue. That's where we're seeing a lot of these things come up. A lot of times it's because they're not using a quality essential oil, and maybe too strongly.
Yes. Not diluted enough.
Not diluted enough. You can't put 10 drops in the diffuser in a small room and think your dogs aren't gonna, I mean, you're probably gonna have an issue too. So starting less or low and slow is kind of the way to use them with them. Less is more always. I should share too, we have a kids kit,
Oh,
and they're all safe. I'll show you. We have like the adult and the kid versions. These are safer for pets because
right.
they're highly dilute and they're very simple oils.
Mhm.
So like we have one for even aches and pains,
Oh, nice.
calming. And like I said, they're dilute. Even the protective blend, which is like immune system, courage. We may have some, cats and dogs that need a little courage.
Yeah,
Is for like
absolutely.
digestion. So littler dogs, these would be something I would recommend too. And then the grounding, like our balance steady is another one. It's just a little bit, they're a little bit different blends, very small amounts, so very dilute as well. So that's another option to, if you're a little bit hesitant to
Mhm.
start, these would be a good way to start to introduce. You can't diffuse these, but if anyone is interested in more information, I actually do a lot of pets and oils classes. I do them on Facebook. I do them in Zoom. So if you have questions, that's a good place to maybe go to. Or I can forward references. As any question you have, I can find an answer. And give you that kind of information. If you need just a graphic with some simple protocols or safety, I have all of that as well. Or reference books if you want to dive a little deeper, or even some of the vets from our vet panel. I can give some names that you can follow, and they do a lot of education as well.
Nice.
Um, or if you just want to have a little consultation and go over things, maybe you have issues yourself, not just with your pets, because it's kind of like the parent kid. You need to fix the parent first, right? You need to fill your cup before you can help them. So sometimes that might be something you want to discuss as well. So I'm here. I love my job. Like I said, if there's a question I can't answer, I have a million references and experts to go to.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Stacey, for chatting with me today.
Thank you.